Saving money is a waste of time. Like, it's an actual waste of your time to get on a budget and track your spending and try to cut out expenses and come up with a meal plan and keep an eye on every dollar. All that stuff is just a waste. Like, don't do it unless you have a plan to invest every extra dollar you can squeeze out of your budget. You see, I used to think budgeting was all about trying to cut your spending down and live on a really strict, tight plan so that you can just stack cash on cash on cash on cash until you can literally make it rain $100 bills all around your room. Like, I actually did that once. Don't ask. But while it's not a bad idea to put some money into savings, it can actually cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run. Let me prove it to you. Sarah Saver is a diligent budgeter that went through my financial audit system and was able to find an extra $400 a month that she could save. Now, she decided to put that money into a high-yield savings account, which is a smart move, and she was able to earn that 4.65% interest rate that I talk about right here in my best high-yield savings accounts video. Now, Sarah is consistent, and she continues to stack this $400 away every single month for the next 10 years. And after 10 years of diligent budgeting and saving, Sarah is able to end up with $59,396.69, which is awesome. Now, I'll show the graph here on the screen, but you can see the growth chart of her savings. And what's cool is if you check out that red line, that's the growth. And you'll see that over $11,000 of her gains was just from growth alone. Sarah is actually losing money. Sarah is getting further and further behind. This is actually costing her tens of thousands of dollars. Let me show you what I mean. Now, Isaac Investor, just like Sarah, went through my financial audit system and was able to find an extra $400 a month. But instead of putting in a savings account, Isaac Investor decides to invest that money. Now, Isaac is intelligent and independent, truly ideal for this type of situation. And instead of picking individual stocks in hopes of huge returns, he simply buys all the stocks. He picks up an index fund that owns everything in the stock market, so he's fully diversified. But just like Sarah, Isaac invests month in and month out. Without stopping, he puts that $400 a month away, but he puts it into the market. Now, the market average return over the last 100 years is about 10% a year. So Isaac earns that 10% average. Now, after 10 years of investing, Isaac now has $76,499.64. So what's crazy is now Isaac has $16,000 more than Sarah while doing the exact same thing. And what's even more incredible is that $16,000 is all growth. You see, Sarah and Isaac both put away $48,000 over a 10-year period. But while Sarah only made $11,000, Isaac made nearly $28,000. But while those numbers might seem like a big difference, it gets way, way worse. Let me show you. So now that Sarah and Isaac know how to save money, they're just going to keep doing it. They put a good habit in place, maybe they've automated it, and they're going to continue saving that $400 a month for the next 20 years after this. Now, Sarah somehow found a magical high-yield savings account that never changes interest rates and continues to get that 4.65% for the next 20 years after that. So 30 years total, this is how much she's going to have. $300,387.30. It's crazy. Now listen, 30 years of diligent saving and having $300,000 is nothing to sneeze at. That is amazing. That's honestly better than most Americans are doing at that age. But Sarah has a massive opportunity cost. And I'll show you what that looks like. Isaac Investor, our diligent saver, running through the same system, going through the same motions as Sarah, probably earning the same money. Maybe they have the same job, but he's saving, $400 a month just like Sarah is. But here's what happens to his money if he continues to invest it in the market with that same 10% average return over a 30-year total period, right? The first 10 years, and then an additional 20. Here's how much Isaac now has in his account. Isaac now has $789,571.31. Holy crap. Like, take a look at this chart and look at that red line. You notice that massive exponential bump after he hits over $100,000? The numbers go crazy. Now, Isaac is able to crush Sarah's returns and has nearly $500,000 more after 30 years of doing the exact same thing. And never mind the fact that Sarah's 4.65% interest rate probably won't last forever. But I mean, right? We're talking $500,000 in difference, and they have the same amount of effort on a day-to-day basis. It's just crazy. Again, budgeting and saving money can actually be a powerful tool, but it's what you do with that money that's the literal $1 million question. Hear me out. you can invest like Isaac and have hundreds of thousands of dollars more than someone like Sarah Saver by the time you retire. All right, but how do you actually get started and become an investor like Isaac Investor? All right, step one's going to sound a little counterintuitive here, but you're actually going to want to actually put some cash away in a savings account. I know I just bashed on those for a few minutes, but you do want to have an emergency fund in place. Now, this is the buffer between you and life. And if life happens, you don't want to go try to sell some investments, especially if they're in a retirement account. There's penalties and all kinds of stuff there. So have at least 1 month of cash saved up. So look at what does it cost to live an entire month and have that amount of cash in a high yield savings account. Then you can actually consider investing. Now, the best place to invest, period, and not everybody has access to this, but if you do have access to a 401k or 457 account or whatever kind of workplace retirement account at work, and they have what's called a match, or if they offer matching funds, what that is free money, and it's the best return you could possibly ever get, and it's guaranteed. Here's what I mean. So if you have a 401k account, and let's say they match 50% of your contributions up to like a certain amount, right? So when I had a job, it was if you invest 6% of your paycheck, we'll match 3%, right? So we'll put in 3%. Well, what that means is if I put in $1, they put in 50 cents, all the way up to 6% of my salary. So let's say I made 100 grand, I could put in 6 grand a year, they'll put in 3 grand. So my 6 grand just turned into 9 grand automatically, which is a 50% return on investment. I don't care who you are, you will not find a guaranteed 50% return in any other investment in any market, period. I absolutely would take that every single time. So if you do have a 401k at work and they have what's called matching funds, talk to your HR department, just ask them, hey, do we have a 401k match? Absolutely take advantage of that first. Now, if you don't have a match, the next step is to go check out an account. My favorite account is called the Roth IRA. Now, the Roth IRA is an account that it's after you get your take-home pay, you can go open and put money into that. But what's cool about it is a couple of things. One, the money grows tax-free. And then when you hit retirement age, you can start pulling it out with no taxes. There's no income tax on that money after it grows. So the growth and your withdrawals in retirement are all tax-free. The second really cool thing about it is the principal investment you put in, you can technically bring back out at any time. So if you put away, I think 7 grand a year is what you can start putting away. That initial 7 grand, not the growth, on that 7 grand, but just your initial 7 grand, you can use it as a backup emergency fund. There's no penalties or taxes or anything on that. That's just your money because it's a post-tax retirement account. Now, I love the Roth IRA. There's a ton more reasons, and you can check out everything you need to know about the Roth IRA in this video right here.